The phrase cock and bull story is an idiomatic expression that refers to a fictional or exaggerated tale, often presented as a believable account or explanation. It implies that the story is far-fetched, lacking credibility, and likely fabricated. When someone tells a cock and bull story, they are typically attempting to deceive or mislead others. The origin of the phrase can be traced back to English literature and folklore. In traditional storytelling, the characters of the cock and the bull were often portrayed as boisterous and prone to exaggeration. Their tales were entertaining but lacked substance or truthfulness. The phrase gained popularity through its inclusion in Jonathan Swift's 1741 novel, The Life and Opinions of Tristram Shandy, Gentleman. In the story, the character Uncle Toby is described as being fond of listening to a cock and bull story from his servant, Trim. The term subsequently became a widely recognized idiom to describe unbelievable or implausible narratives. When someone tells a cock and bull story, they may do so for various reasons. It could be an attempt to deceive others, fabricate an excuse, or entertain through storytelling. The intention may be to capture attention, create intrigue, or divert focus from the truth. The phrase is often used in a skeptical or dismissive manner to question the validity or authenticity of a narrative. It suggests that the story lacks evidence, consistency, or logical coherence. When identifying a cock and bull story, it is important to critically evaluate the information presented and consider the credibility of the source. The phrase can also be applied more broadly to describe any narrative or explanation that appears implausible or highly unlikely. It may be used to express doubt or skepticism in various situations, such as when hearing an elaborate excuse, an unbelievable rumor, or an exaggerated account of events. It is worth noting that the phrase cock and bull story does not imply malicious intent in every case. Sometimes, individuals may unintentionally share stories that are inaccurate or embellished due to misremembering or misunderstanding the facts. However, the phrase is commonly associated with deliberate attempts to deceive or manipulate others. In summary, the idiom cock and bull story describes a fictional or exaggerated tale presented as a believable account. It implies that the story lacks credibility and is likely fabricated. The phrase originated from traditional storytelling and gained popularity through literature. It is used to express skepticism or dismissiveness towards narratives that appear implausible or lack evidence. When encountering a cock and bull story, it is important to critically evaluate the information and consider the credibility of the source.